Welcome to episode 72 for Gaming Dad 101, the show where gamers became dads and are now looking for cheat codes. On today's episode, I'm joined by my co-host, Ricky.
What's going on?
Now, if you're brand new to Gaming Dad 101, Gaming Dad 101 is a show that goes live each and every single Wednesday on podcast services all over the world, and it goes live on YouTube as a video. A video on Fridays. You threw me off completely. Clearly, this is why we don't have nice things, Ricky. This is why.
Well, I gotta make up for the non-technical issues.
No, you really don't. Like, I'm okay. We don't need the distractions, man.
I need chaos.
No, you don't. You really don't. I promise. So, welcome back to the show, Ricky. How you been, man?
I am fabulous. How about you?
Not too bad. This past weekend flew by, and I really have no clue what even happened in it. All I know is that I got my garage clean, and that's pretty much all I know. That was the weekend in a blur, essentially.
That's a task and a half right there, boy.
All right, that's right. How was your weekend? I know we're gonna get a little bit into that later.
Yeah, no, my weekend was fun. Basically, I ended up just going out of town as a road trip and to check some things out for the near future. But yeah, it was overall was fun. The baby got sick over the weekend as well, so we've just been dealing with that overall.
She's doing better?
Yeah, she's doing a lot better.
Sweet. All right, good to hear. So now, before we continue with the show, we touch base with Ricky about the very first thing that pains our hearts is the reasons why we're broke. So Ricky, why would we go broke this week?
This week, we're going broke because we're going to have the Division 2 coming out for the PC, Xbox One, and the PS4. I don't know why I said PC twice.
Yeah.
Coming out on the 15th. And then we have One Piece World Seeker releasing on March the 15th as well.
Sweet. Are you getting any of these?
I had somebody try to talk me into buying the Division 2. And you know this person.
Oh.
At work.
Yes. I wonder which one.
Yes. The only friend mutually that we know that just loves this game.
Yeah. That's the one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see why. He's a little upset with me because I actually canceled my pre-order.
Really?
Yeah, man. And so here's the deal. I love the Division. I played the beta. It plays just like Division 1 in my opinion for the little bit that I got to play. But I started to think of it. Sadly, I don't get to play that often with my friends. So what ends up happening with these games of service a lot is I join in the game, I start playing it, and then unfortunately, because I can't play every single night, that particular friend can. So unfortunately, it results with me being a level 3 and my friends being level 750, God knows whatever. Sound familiar?
No, yeah.
So it becomes not fun for me, especially in a game like Forza, which is the last time that we had a discussion similar to this. It wasn't so bad simply because all you're doing is racing. You know what I mean? You unlock more cars, but I've never been too big on cars, so it never really mattered. But in a game like The Division, where your experience and your level matter to how much you survive, that's a huge problem. It is open world, but there are gates, you know what I mean, that you have to be a certain level to get past, otherwise you're going to get smoked. And unfortunately, The Division is a very bullet spongy game. Like, it takes a lot to take people down. And 2, it doesn't necessarily take that much to take you down. So that kind of makes it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's frustrating when you go into a game, we all start together, I play 3 nights in a row. Suddenly, I miss a night, and the third night they're already 5 levels ahead of me. Something happens, I miss another night. Then after that, they're like another 10 levels ahead of me, and it's because they just have more time to play. And then I'm doing these missions, and everybody's overpowered. You know what I mean? I'm there barely surviving. I'm literally the one that the people are going, Jesus Christ, Chris, hurry up! And it's like, it's not that I don't want to hurry up; it's that I'm underpowered, man. You know what I mean? So it becomes very frustrating, and because of it, I decided to cancel. There may be, like, CC's been kind of curious about it, so I might do it again. I might still get it. Now that you mentioned that you might get it, maybe I'll get it so that we can play, because I know that your schedule's a little more like mine. So we might be a little more matchy. Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm still really on the fence about it just because again when I ended up buying the original Division, I ended up beating the whole campaign story, the whole vanilla game and everything, and I ended up pre-ordering the game the DLCs for them, and I just never went back to play any of the DLCs. Even though I've been offered for people, to come for me to join them, and they would, take me through them and everything. But I don't know, just because of that fact of the game being so bullet spongy and everything, it kind of just throws me off, because their sponginess is to a new level. It's not
Yeah.
like your Destiny's bullet spongy. It's not like your
Yeah,
Halos.
Destiny's a little more fun in the shooter aspect of it when
Exactly.
it comes to that mechanic. I have to agree. But there's so much to the Division, man. There's so much customization. There's so much that
Hmm.
you can do. It's a really great game, and it really sucks that I'm not picking it up. I just I just don't want to be left behind and feel more stressed. You know what I mean? Like I want to
Hmm.
be able to enjoy it. And at the moment I just don't think I will. So I may change my mind. I'll let you know. But what I would like to say for anybody listening or anybody watching this, we are looking for a gamer on the street review for this game. So if you happen to have a gamer on the street review for this, please get a hold of Ricky or myself over at our Facebook group or on on
Twitter.
Twitter. I almost said Tinder. Not the right one. Not
Maybe
the right
you,
one.
not me. I'm good.
Not the right one. On Twitter. And we'll set you up so we can get that gamer and put it on the show so you can be featured with your review on our show, both audio and video. So now that we've covered everything and all the reasons why we're broke, let's go ahead and get into the news. Now, this week, the one thing that I did want to start with is apparently now Apple has the update to play PlayStation Remote in whatever iOS device, from what my understanding. Is that
Hmm.
correct, Ricky? I know
Correct.
that you actually got some hands on with it. What did you think of it? Did it play
Um.
like you would think? Was it, because
It,
I've had that experience. I've used it on my laptop.
uh-huh.
Okay. Sadly, there's really no Android equivalent. There is if you have the Sony phone. I believe it was the Xperia that had it, and the Sony line phones, I believe, still have access to it. But anything outside of that family, unfortunately for Android, doesn't have it at the moment. So, how does it work for you guys? Is it worth it? Because I know you told me you were playing on your phone. Was it?
Yes, I was playing it on my phone, and I have a 7 Plus.
No.
Just so I can give a better reference on it. Obviously all the controllers, because with Apple there's not really a handheld control that's supported with Apple, at least not at the moment. If hey and if you want to make that in an accessory Apple, you already got earbuds and all that stuff. Just go
So
ahead
there's
and
no
give
way
me.
to connect your
Nope.
controller to,
No.
not even Bluetooth.
No, it is not compatible.
What?
Not, yeah, no, at the moment, no. For example, like you can connect your Switch Joy Cons to Android. It will not work with Apple. I guess their Bluetooth capabilities are not compatible for some reason,
Hmm.
and it will not work. It
Interesting.
wouldn't even read the Joy Cons. Period.
Oh
Just
wow.
like
Okay.
yeah, via Bluetooth at all. So aside of that, that puts basically all the controllers now on the actual screen. And if you're thinking about
Wait, so
trying
the
to,
buttons are on the screen itself?
yes, actually, the picture that I sent to you has the layout of all of the buttons on how it actually looks. So you actually, they don't remap any of the button layouts. So you actually have to touch for the left, right triggers, the left and right bumpers. You have your D-pad, you have your two analogs, and then you
I'm
actually
going through the
have.
messages to look at
Oh
the
no,
picture because.
yeah, no, you're good. And then you actually have your triangle, square, all those buttons layout on the actual screen as well. So now you're technically cramping the screen itself. Where they have the triggers and the bumpers, you obviously cannot use additional fingers because you can only technically use your two thumbs on the extra screen at a time unless you have
Hmm.
some really freaky fingers and you are just that talented with your fingers. And
You never know. Some people are weird.
hey, if you can contour your fingers to be able to touch everything on the extra
You never
screen,
know. There's some weird things you can do.
I mean, go for it. But yeah. So you at least that's one of the things that I noticed that the control layout schemes, it's not as user friendly as you would want it. Again, this is also the first time that it's being released on an iOS system.
I mean, it's interesting that you're able to play it on your phone because that's the part that gets me. Because,
Yes.
like I said, I've had that experience before with the laptop.
Mhm.
And through the laptop, it's just like an app that you open and it just opens up, and then you
Yep.
could plug in your controller to the laptop. They also sell a wireless dongle that you can connect via USB to your laptop or your computer or whatever, and you use your PlayStation remote. So
Mhm.
there's that resolve for anybody who's on a PC, but never on a screen. So that's I mean that already limits how many games you can play on it. So how functional is it really?
The game that I was playing was Apex.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
tried to play Apex on it, and how do you call that? The not I want to say joy.
Yes, I
Yeah, I want
agree.
to say Joy Cons, but they're not
Joystick?
joysticks. There you go.
Really?
Yeah. Oh no, and that's the only button. That's the only thing on the screen that disappears when you're not touching it. It's just the joystick areas. They disappear. Then once you actually touch over the joysticks, they appear on your screen.
They appear
But
under your thumbs.
yes,
Okay.
but they are very non-forgiving. That's the best way that I can put it because I would try to just like barely move the stuff and the character would just barely move, and then as soon as I bring it like all the way to the corner, like just really fast. So if you're looking at the video, all I'm doing is that. Just like just turn to the left real quick, just real fast. Your whole entire character just does a complete 360.
Okay.
That's yeah, no, it's the
Is there a way to like change
I
the sensitivity on it?
I'm pretty sure there is, but I'm assuming you will have to actually do that within the actual game itself.
Hmm.
Because I did not see any settings. At least I didn't get to play into that many settings for the actual um, phone
For the actual
system.
phone. Okay.
Yes. When it comes to actually running the game itself, it was running it beautifully. It was super smooth. There was no lag. I mean, yeah, no, there was no hiccups, no nothing. So running wise, it ran beautifully. So it
Sweet.
has a really good capability of playing, a lot bigger games. At least
Okay.
for what I can notice with that one. The only things that is gonna hinder it in the long run are most likely gonna be the controller scheme, unless
Okay.
they come up with some kind of adaptability. Or if I'm completely wrong, guys, anybody out there listening, if
And if
there
you
is
got more information, for
yeah,
sure.
if there is an adapter like there is for everything else, some kind of a dongle, since that's the kind of life we live in, a dongle life.
Don't go
Let
left.
let me know, because I would love to get it and plug it up to my phone because that's something that I truly have with me at all times. So I can play, small versions of the games really quickly, but to be able to play like big games, like shooting games and all that stuff, I'm gonna need some kind of a handheld controller to be able to do that.
Nice. Now, on that note of controller, I'm going to go ahead and take us to the next story, and I'm actually going to skip over the one that I have at number two, so because I'm going to go back to it. But with that segue, I had to. So, an image for a patent for Google has come out. We've talked about Google and their streaming service, and that they're coming out with a gaming box, and that based on everything that they've shown, it seems like it's going to be all about streaming. There's even been talks about a Netflix style service for this thing. Well, a patent has come out for the controllers, and now there's been images that have come out of the actual controller, which is a 3D render, and it looks like an actual realistic controller. But apparently, those are actually faked. So there was a patent that apparently was filed, and then somebody took those images and rendered what they thought it would look like in 3D, and that's been going all over the place over the last like 2 days. So have you had a chance to look at the controller?
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
All right. So two questions: does it or does it not look realistic as hell?
It looks realistic as
It
hell,
looks
and
good.
also looks like a prior controller to something else. I cannot put my finger on it, but it looks very familiar.
You know what? I've been having that same feeling all day, and it kind of feels like an old PC controller that there used to be in the market, but I can't remember. But dude, it looked to me. I thought this was real at first until I started looking, digging in a little deeper to
Hmm.
it. But looking at this controller, the one thing that I can say from not the render, because I mean we'll get into the render, but even the original concept looks very uncomfortable. Like it doesn't like I don't know, it doesn't look like it would feel good in your hands. And the render, the 3D render that they did, it's all boxy and stuff. Like
Hmm.
I don't know, man. What do you think? Cuz the image
Um,
is convincing, but as a controller, really?
Ergonomically wise, no, it doesn't look ergonomic at all.
Yeah.
Functionality wise, I mean, it looks like it's gonna have two small joysticks. You're gonna have your normal D-pad. You're gonna have your Google Home button. I'm
Some
assuming
sort of
that,
select and start,
yeah, well, the selector star will probably be more like your
share or
menu,
something.
yeah, your menu or Windows buttons kind of deal. Um, so yeah, and then you have I don't. That's the one thing it doesn't show is if it's just gonna have like one trigger, if it's gonna have triggers and bumpers, or is it just one bumper? You really can't tell from the actual image, and then you're just gonna have your regular Microsoft style
Why
buttons.
Microsoft? Because of the colors?
Yeah,
It's a very colorful controller.
yes. So just imagine my Xbox controller, a lot square,
Yeah,
and
actually, there you go.
the D-pad is actually just gonna be on the
The
play.
joysticks are parallel to each other, and
Yep, the
then
joysticks are gonna remind you of a PlayStation, DualShock controller, and yeah, but everything else technically looks the same except for the Xbox symbol will now be the Google symbol, and it's gonna be underneath the two little buttons.
so then here's the other question: Google console, will you get it?
Depends on what it is. Most likely it'll be a streaming box, like they've been talking about it, but I wouldn't mind getting my hands on
So Google, please send us one. No, I'm just playing. Well, I'm not really
it.
playing anybody at Google. If you see this, please do.
Oh yes,
I'll take.
I'll be more than happy to review it for you. You
We'll do an
know.
unboxing. We'll review it. We'll do everything. We'll
Oh
do
yeah.
everything proper. Let's go ahead and move on to the next news article. Ricky, it's happening, man. It's
Mhm.
happening before we get to go. It's happening before I'm able to make it. I'm afraid it's not going to be there by the time I can afford to go. EA's dying, man. No, not EA. E3's dying. Well, EA's dying too, but that's a different
Well,
story.
yeah.
But E3's dying because is not going to be there. So EA canceled their conference. So we have PlayStation now out. We have EA canceling their conference. They're still going to have a presence. They put out a statement that says that we're going to see less talk and more play, and that they're skipping the press conference this year and are replacing it with multiple live streams that will air during the first 2 days of the event, bringing you more of what you've told us you want, more gameplay and insights from the teams making the games. It sounds cool in theory,
They're copping out.
right?
They're copping out. Honestly,
Why though? Is it E3? Is it because of everything that's going on? Like,
yes, that is exactly right. They're
you think
copping
so?
out. Oh yeah, because you know how horrible. Okay, so do you have you been reading all the? Have you been following everything that's been going on with Anthem? Not only a
Oh
lot of
yeah.
people are outraged because Anthem's updates are gonna now take over a month to be updated or to consider any kind of patches
Oh
to
wow.
fix anything, so they're not doing anything immediately. Not only a lot of people are very disappointed with BioWare and Anthem as a whole. So I really think they're just trying to stay away from the spotlight. They're trying to stay away from having a physical
Having to answer
presence out there.
questions.
Yes, because they're gonna get their ass handed to them. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to all the listeners out there for my language. But they're gonna get their ass handed to them if they hit that stage, because that's all what people are gonna be talking about. They're not only. I bet you that if they go on stage, they're gonna get booed because of all of everything that's going on with Anthem
Damn.
right now. Yeah, they're not in a good spot to be up there. So I honestly think that by what happened with Anthem, it's
That's the
what
catalyst.
put yeah, that's what pushed them over to saying, you know what, guys, last year a lot of people weren't happy with us. Not only did we have the whole Battlefront 2 fiasco, now we're dealing with Anthem at the moment, and we just don't want any more bad press than
Damn.
what we already have going on. And honestly, I think that's probably why they're deciding to stay away.
Man, but they have Apex. You know what I mean? Like they have a very solid. That's like the one thing they have right now,
They'll probably
and I
show
feel like
some.
they could do something with that. You know what I mean? But
Yeah, I can
mm,
I can kind of see, because if they're talking about that they're gonna have gameplays and all that stuff, they want more games or whatever. I
yeah,
bet you they're gonna come out with some kind of E3 special for the Apex game, where they're gonna have, I don't know, some kind of a beta feature that they may be thinking of adding into Apex, and that'll be the first time you'll be able to play that. Would be at E3. I don't know, some kind of random stuff like that. I mean, again, I'm not guaranteeing anything. That's just me speculating. And there's no rumors out there or anything
it's
about that
it's
stuff.
just it's just sad, man. Because like I said, with PlayStation missing out. I feel first of all, PlayStation is just kind of handing it to Microsoft at this point in that perspective, because we have no clue what PlayStation has up their sleeve. Mm. Um, Then we have EA dropping. So now I'm starting to think that this may be like the beginning of the end of E3 simply because, to an extent, and they're doing what Nintendo has always done. They're doing their own kind of thing, you know? And it kind
Hmm.
of does make sense to have multiple things throughout the year than just one big event. But man, that was like Gamer Christmas, dude. And that's the part that I don't want to lose, you know? It's how many times haven't we gathered around a TV or rushed home to watch the coverage for E3 for some random game that we didn't even think of was going to come out, and suddenly we're blown away over this, magnificent delivery. And then now, how is it going to be? I mean, I'm sure we're still going to have those moments, but is it going to pack the same punch as getting everything at once? You know, it's getting
That
it's getting everything coming to PlayStation one day, then getting everything for the Xbox the next day, getting everything for PC, and getting everything for Nintendo, all within a short period of days, and then the rest of the week you're just going deep dive into everything that they've talked about. So that aspect is cool, and that kind of sucks that it seems to be going away. I'm also curious. Do you think this has to do with the fact that they open the doors to the public? Because if you remember, they just started accepting like public applications. Like it was either last year or the year before. I can't remember right now.
I believe it was the year before that they started all that, and then last year they decided to continue it.
So it's one of those, is that affecting? Like I don't know.
I mean, there's a possibility. You never know. Because before, I believe it was just more like private publishers and all that, and developers that were available. Hi.
Somebody snuck in.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, but the way that they snuck in was kind of funny. They're like hunched over, walking in with their tongue sticking out. So you might see her little hair right here. um,
Nice.
but yeah, no. I can kind of see some kind of how do you call that? Um, some kind of drawback from having more of a public present there than more of a professional present, because you can at least expect with people that are there to just report on the actual games, more to actually report on everything that's going on.
Hmm.
They can keep basically their composures, during presentations and all that stuff, versus the public, just basically if they don't like something, they're gonna tell you right there and then, and they're gonna provide you live feedback. And if you're not used to dealing with that, like backlash right there and then, right in your face, it can get pretty tough.
I guess. I don't know. I don't necessarily blame them considering all the bad publicity that they've had over the last like year and a half, but I don't know. Again, part of me is sad of just for E3 as a whole, not knowing whether it's something that is going to go away. I fully expect it to die out at some point,
Hmm.
but I'm just kind of looking at it like, man, I need to go, and that's the part that's kind of getting to me. So, all right, let's go ahead and move on to the next article. So, our favorite Pokemon Go developer, Niantic, has released, or is in the process of releasing, because they've
Hmm.
basically been giving information about it. Wizards Unite, which is the new Harry Potter AR game that apparently is pretty much Pokemon Go with a new skin and some extra stuff because it's Harry Potter. So, are you excited about this game? We talked about this in the past when they first announced it. I was kind of curious to how they were going to do it because the way they made it seem like there was going to be more of a story as opposed to Pokemon Go. So it's one of those where I'm kind of disappointed with what I'm hearing because it just sounds like another Pokemon Go. And I don't know about you, but I'm not even playing it anymore. You know, it was really awesome for the first month, but there's only so many times that I can drive out in the middle of the day to the park just to catch a virtual Pokemon. You know, like
Yeah. I mean, I'm looking at a video of it right now, and it's just like you said. I've off and on. Yeah, right?
your daughter's. When you edit this, go back and look at what your daughter was doing in that minute.
I don't even know where she's at, to be honest. She's
Yeah, that's my point. She came in like a ninja.
Sorry. But yeah, uh, over time, I've deleted this game and re-uploaded Pokemon Go several times. I just reinstalled it again just to see if what was new on it. And I've only played it for like 2 days or like 3 days. I opened it up for 3 days in a row because there's like this new perk of 5 days perk, and I wanted to see exactly what it is. But every single time I've opened it, I've only caught one Pokemon, and then I've gotten right out of the game. I haven't continued playing it
Dude,
or anything.
I've tried. I've tried so hard to play this game. I started getting back into it when Pokemon Let's Go Eevee came out
Hmm.
because you can transfer Pokemon into it. So I started using it again and capturing Pokemon. I got bored of it. I was trying to battle my wife because, you know, she's right next to me and that's really the best way to play it because I'm not going anywhere.
No, yeah.
So I was like, okay, I can battle Cece. No, I can't battle Cece until we send each other gifts every fit for like 15 or 20 days, some ridiculous number. And it's just like, why can't I not just battle her? In the Pokemon world, you come up against another trainer, you battle them. You don't have to best friend them before you fight them,
Yeah.
you know? So it's kind of dumb that you would have to do that. So if that's what's happening with this one, I don't think I'm checking it out. It doesn't sound like it's up my alley. It sounds like it'll be interesting for the first hour. So if anything, I
Yeah.
might download it to check it out just to take a look at it,
No,
but
same
not
here.
something I'm going to be actively playing.
Yeah. No, yeah, same here. I'll be downloading it just to see it, obviously, as long as it's free.
That was interesting.
As long as it's free. I don't mind downloading it, but yeah, it's not something that I'm gonna be actively playing. And the only reason why I'm gonna download it is again, it's just to be able to speak about it. Poor Chris is taking in himself a whole shower with the drink that
Apparently so.
he's
Yeah, that was
spilling.
not. I don't keep spilling it. All right. The first time I laughed, all right, and I almost came out my nose. The second time your daughter did something again, and I once again laughed, and
No, I
this time
have.
it did come out my nose and all over my arm, and I'm sure my shirt is wet, so whatever. It happened. But it was funny, so it
Yeah.
worked out.
So excuse me, everybody. Again, we're a gaming dad show. So
It happens, man. It happens. At least it's been funny and entertaining. It hasn't been like the other times where we've had to stop the show abruptly because someone's crying and we're wondering if there's blood. All right, and with that, let's go ahead and cover the last news story for the week. Nintendo is doing what Nintendo does by not being like everybody else out there, and they're actually limiting their microtransactions. So, a report in the Wall Street Journal states that Nintendo is asking to limit the microtransactions for all its partners because the company believes that excessive monetization is going to damage the Nintendo brand. And a spokesperson for Cygames said Nintendo's not interested in making a large amount of money from a single smartphone game. So, isn't that freaking awesome?
I
Like,
love it.
I love how Nintendo's coming back and they're kind of coming as the friendly company, that the company that you grew up with, that you miss and you love, and are not trying to take your money.
I love
I
that's
mean,
and
they
that's.
take your money other ways by releasing the same game in every console instead of virtual console, so you just keep buying it over and over and over and over and over and over and over again.
And giving you the same exact amiibo character just in different positions, you know.
Hey, you stop it.
We know who's victim of that now.
Only a little bit, only with the Zelda line, and not even that many. Like, I only have
All right.
about 8.
Just eight.
maybe 9.
Okay.
I keep looking because they're right there.
But no, and that's one thing about Nintendo. They're always very thoughtful. They actually do care about, their fan base. They care about their players. They care about everybody in general. They're one of the few companies that actually still take their time, with the game. They are still taking they're just so
Their quality
prideful.
shows.
Yeah,
Their love
yeah.
for the game shows.
They just have so much pride for their brand that you see it. There's no way of not seeing it. So that's again, this is just something else that shows you how much they care about their actual brand, and this is
But
what
it's not
makes you
just the
appreciate
brand;
them.
it's the relationship with the consumer.
It's still
In a
at the end,
world
it's still a brand.
of EA, we
Yeah.
have Nintendo.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
so that's very exciting. I love the fact that they're doing that. It makes me want to buy more Nintendo games. So
I wanna.
cheers to the Switch,
There you go.
and cheers to Nintendo. And just in case, this is not beer, this is apple juice.
And I wish I can do a cheer for Xbox handheld. I will not drop that. Powered by Nintendo and Xbox or Microsoft, I mean.
No, you stop it. You stop it now. I am not
No.
buying another one. I'm good. You stop it. If your
Mm,
prediction comes, dude, if your prediction comes true,
do you know how freaking awesome that would be?
dude, do
I,
you know how pie in the sky that prediction is? Like an
but,
Xbox Nintendo crossbred hybrid, like hybrid handheld.
yes, super
That'd be
powerful. So,
the first handheld to play 4K.
yes, you're gonna. How what's that? What is that laptop that has dual power supply and everything? Because it's so massive and so powerful. It
I
has like
don't even know. I
you
know there's a
can.
laptop that
It's a
has
predator.
a screen that spreads from both sides and it turns into a widescreen.
No, no. You seriously haven't seen that gaming laptop? It's called It's made by the who is it?
Anywhere?
No, Asus.
Oh, okay.
And it's the Predator line, and this thing weighs like a good 20 pounds.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh yes, no, it's humongous. It has like a 21 and a half inch screen on it. It uses dual power supply. It has two GTX 1080 if I'm not mistaken in it. Dude,
Damn, dude.
no, yes, you have. I'm gonna send you the links. I'm gonna show you a picture, and I'm gonna send you the video so you can see it. This thing is powerful as hell. This is one of those things that I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I think that laptop runs for around $10,000, if I'm not mistaken.
Mhm.
But yeah, no, that thing is a beast. It's one of those
Hmm.
items that you just have to say, I have the money for it. But
What is it? You said that there's a Predator line?
yes, it's the Predator line from Asus.
Don't mind me. I'm just taking a look real quick. Well, that's not too bad. $1,300.
No,
That's not too bad.
$1,300. No, it's $10,000.
Oh, then I'm looking at the wrong one, son.
Yes, you're looking at the wrong one.
I am looking at the
I'm not.
wrong
Yeah,
one. You're
no.
gonna have to send me that link then, because I'm
Yeah,
curious.
no, yeah, I don't have my phone on me. Even though I'm in front of the computer, I'm like, I don't have
We're
my
currently
phone on
using the computers for other
me.
stuff. So,
But
man,
yeah, no, I'll send you that information. It's pretty
sweet.
badass.
All right. Well, that basically does it for the news for this week. Now, before we say goodbye, every week we have what we call the parenting cheat code of the week. Now, this week's cheat code was written by our very own Ricky. So, Ricky, take it away.
Be prepared to stop.
Be prepared.
Yes.
I like the Lion King. I'm sorry.
Yes, and when I mean be prepared to stop is because I was on a road trip with out of everybody, including myself and everybody, was a total of 10 people.
Oh yeah, no, just short change. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was 10 people on the road trip. A 3.5 hour trip ended up turning into a 6 hour trip.
Mm.
Um, yeah,
Yeah,
so.
fun.
I mean, there was a lot of scenarios that happened that I'm not going to go into detail, but yeah,
Something
it's.
tells me I should thank you for that. So thank you for avoiding the detail.
But yeah, no, just be prepared to stop. Luckily, one of the things that I went into the mindset of. I guess they want to be part of the show today. Apparently not.
Apparently, they're auditioning. Gaming kids.
That's right.
Yeah.
So one of the things that I actually went into as a mindset kind of for me was I told my wife like, listen, where we're going is more of a road trip.
Okay.
It's we have no place to be there because we really had no place to go. We were just gonna go to this town just to check it out.
Mhm.
We had nothing to actually do in the town, but just drive around to just look around.
Fun.
We had nobody really waiting on us or anything. You're mad at your crayons? You're mad at the floor. Okay. She's mad at the floor, guys.
Okay, what happened?
I don't know. She has a bunch of crayons now on the floor.
Oh. Okay.
She probably rolled on the floor. I don't know. She's on my carpet, but by all means.
All right. So you were saying.
But yeah. So because we had no place to be, nobody to really meet. I already had the mindset of, it takes whatever it takes. We originally had the mindset of leaving at a specific time. I believe it was like 7 o'clock in the morning. Honestly, by the time we ended up leaving town, it was like more of around 9 o'clock in the morning. So it was just one of those things. Like, you know what? Just go with the flow. Don't stress over it. You are rolling with a bunch of people, so just make the best of it. Don't stress the little details.
Oh man. Yeah, that sounds like a fun road trip.
It was.
Was it?
Overall, it was a fun road trip. The only actual downside of the road trip was that my daughter ended up catching a fever during the road trip itself.
Yeah.
But besides that, overall, it was a pretty good road trip. Again, like I mentioned, I had no expectations. We had nothing to do in the town except for just drive
Just check
around
it
the
out.
town.
Fair enough. No, well, welcome back. Sorry about your 10 hours. We live, we learn. All right, well, that basically does it for the show for this week. Thank you very much for joining us. Now, Ricky, before we take off, anything you want to recommend, anything you want to put out there?
Yeah, man, go check out that Aces Predator line. It's a must check for you.
Well, I'm gonna check it out, but I'm waiting for you to send it to me so I can see the right one clearly.
And for
Apparently,
anybody
my
out there
mind already is like, let's spend the least amount of money.
Yeah, no.
$1,300.
This is $10,000 laptop.
Enough.
So
Oh,
yeah, no.
That
So
can't. I
I
can't.
wonder, I wonder if Asus will send it to us for us to review.
Yeah, that'd be nice. Aces, please do. We're fathers with 2 kids. I have 2 dogs on top of that. No, man.
Yeah.
Money scarce. I can't afford 10 grand to review your laptop. I will do it happily. I'll send it back to you too.
You know how they also
send it
ship
over
this
to
thing?
me. I'll check it. We'll play it. Send it right back. I don't even need to keep it. I just want to check it out.
This thing is shipped to you in a Pelican briefcase.
What?
Yes, that's how hardcore this thing is.
I mean, for $10,000, might as well. Like, it should be hand delivered to me at this point. Here you go, mister. You know, Mr. Pastor, just sign right here. All right, cool.
Pretty much.
Well. All right. In terms for me, basically, if you're listening to this on podcast services, please go check out the YouTube video. Tell us what you think. If you're listening to us over on YouTube, then thanks for checking us out. Drop a comment below and all that stuff. Tell us what you think of the show. And also make sure to go check out our other show, Control C, and check us out over on Twitter. Go ahead and follow us on Twitter at GeekEnd Cast. You can find Ricky at Picky Gamer Dad. You can find me at Visk Zen. Once again, thank you very much for joining us on this episode of Gaming Dad 101, everybody. We will see you next Wednesday.
Luego.